On today's Performance TV, we deal with stopping power, from the e-brake on your street vehicle to the line lock on your race car. We even delve into the growing craft of motorcycle medallions. All that and more coming up next.
Welcome to another edition of Performance TV. Whether you call them parking brakes, emergency brakes, like I still refer to them as, you don't want to have something in your vehicle that is going to be subpar, made with plastic and subpar parts. Bruin brake cables, Rick Galshay, you can take care of that for us, and something that is made here in the USA. Tell us about some of these brake cables that we find in our production vehicles.
Well, if you go to your local auto parts store, you don't know what you're going to be getting. A lot of auto part retailers are bringing parts from overseas and sticking them in their boxes. All those accepted brands that we were used to, well, it's hard to know what you're getting. Bruin brake cables makes parts the old-fashioned way. We use quality components in all our brake cables. They're pressure tested to over 1,000 pounds. We use steel, where you might find pot metal and zinc and other types of combinations and
Plastic and things like that, which might not rust, but it's not something that we want to be, you know, holding our truck, our trailer with our boat or whatever else, our race car behind it. You gonna do something there to show us just how well this is not made?
Well, let's put it this way.
All right, I'll get my glasses on here.
Good pressure test is always the best way to kind of illustrate our point. That's not what I want behind my race car or behind my boat.
Absolutely not. All right, Rick, now let's see the Bruin brake cable.
Well, we'll check that out.
It ain't going nowhere. We've got a nice looking Dodge truck here. I say we get a good Bruin brake cable on and see how easy it is to install. All right, well, we're gonna get right to taking the old brake cable out of this Dodge and get the Bruin brake cable installed. So we're gonna go to the man in charge here, Director of Operations at Bruin Brake Cables, Brian Brum. Brian, this one's already looking pretty icky under here, and this truck's not even really that old.
When they're made out of steel, they don't protect them. They try to paint it, but it looks like it rusts anyway.
Yeah, we've already got some stuff sprayed on here, so this is exactly where we want to get started to take the old one out.
Yeah, this is where you release all the tension from the brake system. You just start with the equalizer here, you loosen this nut, and then that releases the tension, and then you can take all the cables off after that.
Let's get started.
All right. First, we got 13 millimeter. We're going to go over this threaded end fitting here and just loosen it, holding it with a pair of channel locks on the other side. As you can see, it's starting to loosen now.
I bet you didn't have a buzz gun for something like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to just cut it off. You could also do that. So after we loosen the tension, we take this fitting out, and then we can start working on the wire connector to take that out. Just push this.
Push that on through. Yeah, because we're actually going to save this part through here. We will reuse all.
Yeah, we have to reuse this. We have to reuse this, and then, but we just have to take it all apart.
So because these things really don't go bad. Themselves.
Right.
Because we're going to replace the cable to this point, and then the two cables going out to the back.
Yep, and then we can reuse this, because even though it's a little rusty, it'll still work.
Actually, a little trick that Brian's going to show us here is going to save you guys a lot of time and headache on taking out the housing fittings. Has a lot to do with this little hose clamp.
With this hose clamp, what we do is we put it over the housing fitting. A lot of them have a prong on either side that we need to compress. After we got the hose clamp on, compressing both prongs, what we're going to do is we're going to push it out to get the prongs started into the hole, so that way we can actually release the cable from its mounting hole.
So now that we have the cable off from back there, wow, look here, Brian, we have plastic, right, to start with. Maybe I should use the hammer on this one this time. Little easy trick to help release this from the back. You can just take the cable and push on it, and it's going to pop right out. We can come over here and take this part off. And hey, another place that you get to use your trusty little hose clamp trick too.
Yep.
Now you want to make sure that you have that just in the hose clamp at a certain spot, don't you?
Right, otherwise putting the clamp on it will just keep it in place more. You got to make sure you have it back far enough so you can actually slide it out. And then once you release the clamp, you can just slide it right out.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and pop that out of there. While Brian gets the other brake cable off this side over here, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to show you how to install the new Bruin brake cable.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by Power Curve, Extreme Performance Products. And by Heater Treater, automotive heating and air conditioning repair. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Performance TV. While we were at break, we had a chance to, Brian, to get up our other Bruin brake cable. Now we're going to install this side. And actually, Brian, we can use a little bit of the trick that we used to take the old one off when we install a new one. First, we're going to stick this up here. Got it into place. And slide the spring back. Now, you want to go ahead and hold on to that for me? And I'll take this side over here. See if I can pull this out.
I'll give you a push.
All right. You get it? Ta-da! So we're going to go ahead and run this through up here, right, Brian?
Yep. You just got to feed it around, make sure you're clearing any suspension parts, and making sure you just go back to the same place where the original cable was.
And we're through. Now, it looks like we might have a little bit of slack or something back here.
Yeah, that's why we have zip ties.
I was going to say, couldn't build anything without him, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There you
And
go.
that gets it right out of the way. And then we cut off the excess.
Oh, yeah, I got to keep it cleaned up back there. Okay, so now we can hook them back up
Yep.
here.
You just got to run this housing fitting back to its mounting hole again. Give it a good pull, and then it's ready to go.
Now that we have the back two brake cables taken care of, what we need to do is take care of the one that goes up in the cab that we actuate as the driver, and we're going to use our trusty hose clamp again. Just take this one off. Now we'll need to get up into the cab.
Yeah, we'll have to take off the door sill to get up underneath where the brake pedal is.
And every application is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even have to go into the cab. So then after we have the housing fitting released, we take this rubber grommet and we push it up into the cab so then we can pull the cable out.
Okay, we've dropped the truck down on the ground so we can get the door open here. So all we need to do is we need to pop off the sill plate here. Pull this panel off. So we've got our grommet here. And now we'll need to release this one up here on the inside where we actually have the brake pedal.
So we can take the hose clamp again and take the pressure off the housing fitting and pull on out of the way. And then we just have to release the wire fitting from the brake cable mechanism.
All right, Brian has got the cable out of the truck. A couple of different things that we need to do here between the old cable and the new cable. First, Brian, I know you need to go ahead and put the intermediate cable back on, which is actually part that is underneath the truck. What I need to do is get the grommet off, and we went ahead and cut the end of this off to make it a lot easier to slide off of here. So now that we have that, we don't need this old plastic thing anymore. So you want to do with this? Get that out of here. Okay, Brian got the grommet back on. Just had to use a little stuff to squeeze that on there with. That was about where we had it. All we need to do is lift that carpet back up, run it down through. I'll get it ready for you. We'll put this thing back up in a lift, hook her back up. We've fed that through from the top. So now, Brian, we feed this through here. Get your long arms up there. All right, got that snapped into place. Now what do we want to do over here? Well, I'll get these zip ties.
Well, we're going to put the housing fitting back into our equalizer here. And then we're going to hook up the rear cable to the turnbuckle. And then we're going to hook the front cable to the rear to get it all synchronized together.
All right, Brian, you did a good job there. You know, if you ever have any questions about how much to tighten that, just check out your owner's manual. Rick, what happens if you got a four-wheel drive? Would we use the same cables?
Well, a lot of people are doing that, even with the lift kits. The problem with that is, now if you're going to take a stock original cable and string it along a longer length, that means you're going to have gaps underneath the wheel well, around the frame. Now, if you're running over a log or a stick or whatever it might be, it's a good chance that can go in there, jam up everything, and kind of tear your whole system down.
And you guys have how many different part numbers?
We have about 3,000 different brake cables that we offer. We cover all the vehicles, antique cruisers, muscle cars, and late model. But for your 4x4s, we'll do a custom cable. All we need to know is what the kind of lift it is, the type of fittings there are, and we'll put together a custom cable for you so you can tie it up along the frame and along the area so it'll keep it safe.
And if you want to find out more about any of their products, you can hop on BruinBrakeCables.com or AutoPartsNetwork.com.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Kathy, this may be one of my favorite installs. It's the Hurst roll control. I know it as a line lock.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's heard of a line lock. I mean, if you're going to do a burnout, got to have a line lock.
You know what, and Hurst has been making these for a very, very long time. These are the ones that are great, they're reliable, and they're easy to install. And we're going to show you how to do that today.
Easy to install is an understatement. I mean, we've got a few tools here. This is all it's going to take. I mean, a little bit of wiring, a brake line, a plug, a few simple tools. I mean, you can get this at your local auto parts store, or you can get the optional installation kit that they also sell.
Exactly, that comes with all different kinds of fittings depending on what your application's going to need.
Right. I mean, it's pretty simple. So let's get busy and put this thing in.
All right.
Well, Kathy, you can mount this line lock or roll control virtually anywhere under the hood here, somewhere proximity of the master cylinder, because we've got to tap into the brake line. So
right.
While I'm picking out a place here and this, open that up, see what we got to work with.
Okay. And Tommy, of course, you're going to keep in mind that where we're going to mount this, we want to keep it away from the headers and the heat and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular instance, this Chevelle here, there's plenty of room. I don't see any reason why we can't mount it right here on this fender well. Tap right into the brake lines. We've got less plumbing to do. Everything's going to be nice and neat. I like it. As soon as you get that out of the package, I'm going to put this thing right here.
Okay, looks like it comes with everything we need, even a fuse. We have our switch for inside. We're going to put on the shifter. There is an optional light here if you'd like to install that. So that way you know whether it's on or not. Wow, that thing's got a great feel to it.
It's nice piece. I'll billet. Yeah, I think this will look good right here. We'll just drill a couple holes, mount it right there, run our wiring, take these brake lines off, put them into the roll control, take the one we got, come out of here, into here, simple as that.
You know, and if you're needing to decide and know for sure what size lines you have, what fittings you need, it even comes with a little template here as well, just to help it be a little easier. Hey, Tommy, while you go ahead and get that mounted, I'm going to get the button put on the shifter.
All right, well, I've already removed the brake lines from the reservoir here. There's an existing hole right here, so a great place to mount this will be right here using that hole. All I'm going to have to do is drill one other hole then, right in this area, and we can have this mounted. All right, before I put the other screw in, it has to have a ground, so I'm going to put an end on this and attach it to the other screw here on the other side and use that as my ground. So put an end on here and put the other screw in, and it's on. All right, just give this a crimp, reset, we can put the ground on it. Let's check, see how Kathy's coming with the button and the installation on the inside of the car.
First, we take the shifter handle off the top to install the button. It's just going to slide right down on the shifter shaft. Now, this is the one that comes with the roll control system. Hurst actually makes an optional T-handle that has the button built right in, but we're going to slide this one down.
All right, I put a couple bends in the line that we got to connect it from the master cylinder to the solenoid. And this should fit, I hope. It's not as pretty as I'd like it, but it's functional, put it that way. Hey, it's gonna go. All right, we got from the brake master cylinder to the distribution block, out of that into our solenoid. From the solenoid, we got to the front brakes. There's also a port here you can put like a pressure gauge in or a bleeder valve, whatever you want to put in. Today we're not going to use it. We don't need a pressure gauge or a bleeder valve, so got a plug in there. Now all is left to do is take this red wire and run it to a 12-volt power source inside the car. I've taken the hot wire to the solenoid, put a butt connector on it, put a piece of wiring on it, run it through this loom right here, which goes right into the firewall right by the fuse panel. Kathy, as soon as you get this wire in there, put the fuse that they supply, put that in the line, and hook up your switch.
All right, gotcha.
All right, as soon as she gets the fuse in there, gets the wire hooked up for the switch, I'm gonna bleed the brakes, and then we're ready to do some serious burnouts.
Sounds like fun to me.
We'll be back with some more Performance TV right after this.
One of today's hottest hot rod builders is Dave Tucci from Tucci Hot Rods. Now, Dave doesn't do your normal hot rod. As you can see, I'm actually standing next to a caddy hot rod of all things. Now, Dave, Where do you get your inspiration for some of these amazing rides you build?
It's just a matter of looking at them and trying to do something different than everybody else does. We try to make it as factory looking as possible. We go over the top just a little bit, but if we can keep it very clean and the way it should have been done.
You say we a lot. You're humble. You're very humble at what you do.
There's actually just two of us in the shop.
I know.
You know, I couldn't do it without John. He helps me every day. And when you're in this industry, you meet a lot of people out there. We can't do what we do without them. The companies we work with, friends we meet along the way. This is our 15th year, 15th anniversary. We've done well. We've put out some cars that made a statement. And, you know, we're learning every day. We say if we can't learn something new every day, then we're doing something wrong that day.
One heck of a car life already, and there'll be more. And this is Dave Tucci.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by Aeromotive, Sirius Fuel Systems, and by Hurst, America's #1 shifter, and by Colpin Power Sports, the leader in all-terrain innovation. This week's ARP quarter-mile quiz question comes from George in Nebraska. George wants to know, how hard is it to go back and forth between two cars in one race?
That's a good question, but I guess we could start off with the obvious. When I open the door, one says Grumpy Toy and one says IDG on the side, so that would be the beginning. But, you know, when I look out the front windshield, one's got a big old hood scoop and one's got a factory-style hood, so that's another obvious. But, you know, there's a big difference in them. You know, when you leave that starting line, one's got the wheels up in the air and you're looking at nothing but the sky, and the other one's setting you back 3 Gs. So they're both a lot of fun, and it's just an honor to be driving either one of them.
If you have a question for the ARP quarter-mile quiz, send it to the address on the screen. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive an ARP quarter-mile quiz shirt.
Welcome back to Performance TV. You know, it's really cool when you can find a product that you can personalize your ride, and we found that here with what you have, John Matola from Motor Dog 69. You can put these all over your motorcycle. Give me an idea of where we can put some of these.
We've got a custom timing cover for a Harley. We have horn covers.
Ooh, horn covers. There you go, Tommy.
We've got a Harley right here. How about if I go pull the horn off of it? We can put one on. There you go.
Okay, cool. John, where did this idea come from?
In 2009, I came up with the idea because I wanted to mount my 9-year recovery medallion on my Harley. And this is what me and my dad ended up coming up with right here.
Wow.
The cool thing about it is you could actually pop this medallion out the back and then switch it whenever you feel like it. And this started us on a whole brand new product line called the medallion plate covers. What a medallion plate cover is it allows a rider to take something that's dear to their heart or something that's important to them,
right,
and it allows them to mount that on their motorcycle in a very unique, custom way. They could ride with it for as long as they want, pop the coin out, put a new one in, and change the look of their bike whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, take a look along here. Now, Tommy's taking the horn off the Harley over here right now. It looks like you have several different mounts, lots of different places that we can put these, and choices too. Some guys and girls like to chrome it up. A lot of them are blacking things out.
It's true. We have a custom air cleaner mount for a Harley. Right next to that would be the fuel door mount, and underneath that would be our timing cover.
Hey, John, do you have dealers that take care of these and sell these for you?
Yeah, we do across the United States, Kathy, but I'll tell you, we're looking for some more authorized dealers. Just go to our website, www.motordog69.com, and fill it out. Here you go. Let's see what we can do. Got you a horn? All right. Let's show us how to mount one of them on the horn. Fantastic.
Okay.
This is really simple to put on. All you need to do is grab a little of this RTV silicone, and you fill up this channel with the RTV, and then you take the mount and you just press it right down on the horn.
Now, how long would you want to make sure before that sits
You let
up?
that sit overnight, Kathy.
Okay.
That's it. And at the same time, you could actually just put 2 small dabs of the same silicone here and here. And then...
I'm kind of liking this coin right here.
Are you really? Isn't that cool?
I think it's going to look great on that bike.
That's the Don't Tread on Me. And then you just press it right in. And it's really that simple. Center it up on the line and let it sit overnight.
Amazing. Hey, Tommy, you got that horn done?
Yes, I do. And it looks good, Kathy.
Awesome.
Hey, John, what else you got? You got anything else I can put on this thing?
Well, you used to work with the Army, right?
I do work for the U.S. Army race team.
How about we mount this brand new Motordog 69 Army timing cover on this Harley?
Looks perfect. I'll get going.
Yeah, you have a couple different colors here, and that black with that coin. Now, do you have the coins available too?
Yes, we have a full selection of challenge coins on our website.
Okay, which we would definitely want to check those out. Other places we can put things on the bike? I mean, I see you have different mounts here.
Yep, we actually have a fuel door mount that'll fit right up on here, Kathy. And actually that mount, not only does it fit on the fuel door, it actually fits on the air cleaner, and then on this beautiful gold wing behind us, we can show you how that same mount will fit all over that motorcycle.
Okay, well, Tommy's doing that. Now, this white one back here, we'd probably want the chrome. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
All right, John, we've seen what we can do over here and all the different places we can mount the Motordog 69s over here on the Harley. What about the guys and girls that have the Hondas?
Great question. Well, we have a universal mount that actually fits in quite a few different spots on the Honda. Let me show you a couple of them. This is one great spot that we can mount one on the wing, right on the front of it, centered right up above the Honda. Another spot, Kathy, would be right here on the emblem on the side of this fender right here.
Oh, looks great right there.
Yep. Another great spot would be right over here on the fuel door of the bike, which is one of the owner's favorites because it's right up where you're riding. We also have another spot on the side of the engine, which will fit right here. And also, on the very back of a wing, we actually do two different mounts on the back of this tour pack.
Hey, Kathy, while you guys were busy over there, I put one on the air cleaner, too.
Did you really? Wow. Nice contrast. That looks great there.
Looking good.
These are made in the USA, and you can find out more about going to motordog69.com, including all the different shows that you display at, like Bike Week that's coming up.
Yep, Bike Week is coming up in March.
All right. I say we go out and ride these with pride, just like we will with Motordog 69. When I say get on, mine.
All right, I'll go.
That's all we have time for, folks, on this week's edition of Performance TV. See you next week. Nope, I'm driving this one.